Alright, I'm about to pulse it here in a minute. Just tell me when you're ready. Nice, I saw that. Good shot.
Hey guys, welcome to my first ever voiceover video. I'm fairly excited because today I just managed to hit my 1 million headshot, as you just saw. If all you were here for is that clip, then you can go on your way, but for anyone interested on how I just did that, I'm gonna get into some more details about the sniping in the Division. So, first off, the difference between the bolt-action sniper rifles and the semi-auto sniper rifles. I personally prefer the bolt actions that you see here, but I'm gonna talk about the semi-auto ones just real quickly. If you're looking for a pure DPS, the semi-autos are the way to go because you can take shots way faster, it's way more stable, and you can just pump out the damage quicker. But I prefer the bolt actions just because in the dark zone, if you don't kill someone fast enough, they have time to react. They can drop a med kit. They can pop their ultimate skill. They can do something to avoid getting killed. But if you can manage to get your sniper strong enough that you can one-shot drop them, they're toast. No chance. But in terms of fighting NPCs, perhaps the semi-auto is better, but I enjoy my bolt actions. Enough about that. Let's get into it. So, what I have here is the custom M44. So, here's the custom M44 I'm using right now. I've managed to get a blueprint, which is critical in order to get the best custom M44, and I'll get into that later. But, there's also the classic and the hunting M44. Now, the classic and the hunting ones, they appear, at least to me, if you look at a custom versus a classic or hunting of the same level, their base damage of the classic and hunting is actually a little bit better. But I use the custom because the other day I discovered that you can get a mod for the magazine that increases the base damage. And the difference between the custom and the classic is not big enough of a difference that this extra weapon damage bonus can't easily cover it. It was maybe a couple thousand, not even, and this extended mag easily makes it far more powerful. Next, I'm going to get into what to look for in your other attachments. So there's two trains of thought. You can either go for crit hit chance or crit hit damage, or both, I suppose. I am currently going in for the crit damage, which is why that number was so high. But my crit chance is not as high as it could be. Now, a lot of mods you can get both, but this also has two trains of thought. If your critical hit is enough to kill a player in one shot, you don't really need extra damage because that damage is wasted. So you would want to put your damage into crit hit chance. But if your criticals aren't dropping them in one hit, then you might as well be using a semi-auto sniper rifle and or be putting more focus onto the crit hit damage. Right now I've got it all on crit hit damage, but ideally I run a balance of both. I've noticed very few people are able to survive a one-shot hit. So let's get into some details here. So I've got a 15 times scope. I really like it. It's technically not my best one. My 8 times scope gives me a little bit more damage, but the aiming down sights with the 8 times scope, you get a circle instead of a nice dot to aim at. So I use a 15 times scope. I'm hoping to get a better one soon. This hand swap is terrible right now. It's not really helping me much at all. I'm sure there's something better. And then the suppressor gives me a nice crit hit damage. This is far from a perfect sniper rifle, but
Stingy bastard.
I mentioned getting blueprints. So if you see in my inventory, I've got a bunch of these things. The reason I've got a bunch is because I'm crafting them over and over and over again because I want to get the perfect weapon talents. So let's see here. Oh crap, I've got the wrong gear equipped right now. Give me a second, and I will quickly change that and then get back to the video. Alright, so, where were we? I've changed all my gear. Now I've got my full firearms. You see in the top left corner, it's where it should be, 4,069 right now. It could be a little bit higher, and actually this isn't the exact gear I was running when I got that headshot. It's slightly higher than it was before. But if you look, I was talking about the weapon talents. So the one that I have right now on this gun is Brutal, Swift, and Determined. Now, Brutal is the only one that I actually want. Some of the other good ones to look for, there's one called Competent, which gives you a damage bonus after every skill. There's one called Proficient, which gives you a nice critical hit bonus if you're out of combat, so that's great for that very first bullet that you take. There's also a vicious talent, and that gives you a critical chance bonus when you're at full health, which also adds to when you're out of combat, you're probably at full health, and that helps even more. But the main ones that people recommend are Brutal, the one you see there with the headshot damage, just flat increase. Deadly, which gives you just a flat bonus to your crit hit damage. And then Balanced. Now, I've never actually gotten a chance to use Balanced, I haven't found it yet, but it gives you maximum accuracy faster when you bring the gun up to your shoulder. So if we look here, when I aim, it takes a second for the reticle to focus. And when I look down the sights, it takes a little second. Everything's blurry at the beginning. Apparently this talent basically makes that instant, which allows you to easily quickscope people. So it doesn't give you a bonus to your damage, but effectively makes you a better sniper as a player. And there's also gear talents, which I don't have very good gear talents yet, but there are some that give critical hit bonuses for your first 3 bullets out of your clip. There's some, I think my gloves have one. Yes, after I reload, I have a critical hit bonus for the next bullet. If I combine that with the other one that I just mentioned, that would be even more crit hit bonus. So, I mentioned blueprints. Now, the reason you need these blueprints is because you need to craft it over and over again, because every single time you're going to get a random set of skills, and sometimes they're not all that great. So it's a waste of materials, but you try again and you hope for the best. Which is why I don't have a perfect build yet. It just takes time. What else is there? So, I think that's enough about the guns themselves. I've got everything, if it's not self-explanatory enough. All my gear has a bonus to firearms. Every single mod on my gear has a firearms bonus. I have better pads that have a mod slot that give me more DPS, but it actually gives me more firearms too. It's bugged out because I actually have a mod in there that gives a bonus that is not taking into account the top left corner. And these give even more crit hit damage, but I was using these ones at the time because of the item finding credit bonus, and I'm still grinding for gear, so I've got this equipped right now. And then the holster is also, it's just a triple stat holster, but I've got the mod that gives me more firearms as well. So if you're gonna do the sniping this way with the bolt action, you have to make sure you're dropping people on that first bullet. Otherwise, it loses its effectiveness. And realistically, the only way to practically guarantee that is to just go full firearms. You're going to be squishy. You can be killed in a couple bullets, one bad grenade, and you're dead. But it basically gives advantage to whoever shoots first. If I shoot first, I win. If they shoot first, they win. So it's a trade-off. You just it causes a different style of play. So I'm gonna quickly talk about the abilities that I've got. So there are 4 abilities basically that can give you a damage bonus. The ones I run with are the smart cover, and I use the smart cover because it also heals me as well. So by default, the smart cover just the base ability is that it just increases damage. But then I have the mod, which heals me. And then I've got the deployable shield. And I really like this one because it allows me to climb on top of some really exposed position and then drop the shield down, and all of a sudden I have cover up there and I've got this great vantage point on the whole area. It's great in PvE, it's great in the dark zone too. And this one I have the mod on that makes users deal increased damage. In terms of other things that give you a bonus damage, there's the pulse if you give the tactical scanner bonus, which is what my buddy did in that video at the beginning of this, where he did the pulse, and it all stacks together. I did the smart cover and the mobile cover, and then activated my tactical link. And I mean, this one's self-explanatory. It's the signature skill that just gives you damage, and you're gonna need this because without it, you can't. I found you can't guarantee that your bullet's gonna kill the guy in one shot, especially in the dark zone, because if someone's running a full tank build, it might not cut it. So you need that extra damage. The fourth one that gives a bonus is the first aid skill, and if you go to the mod, the booster shot, it increases damage for everyone who gets healed. I don't run with this one, just because I have to use my heal before the fight starts, and then I can't use my heal during the fight, whereas the smart cover gives me the healing over time, so I can use it right off the start, and if I get shot while I'm initially peeking over the top, I can just drop back down and continue getting healed. As well, my health bar is so small that even if I heal myself back up to full health, I can still be dropped into more bullets, so a heal isn't really as effective. If I start getting bullets torn into me, it doesn't matter if I heal or not, I'm going down. So that's about it for the talents. They do stack. Oh, one important note. The pulse and the mobile cover by default, without any bonuses to either skill, give the exact same damage bonus. I tested this, the numbers were exactly the same. However, there's advantages to both. The pulse, you can get gear that has bonuses to damage of the pulse skill to make your pulse even stronger. You can't get that with the shield because by default the shield doesn't give a damage bonus. The shield bonus you can get is you can make your shield stronger. You can make yourself have more weapon resistance when you're behind it. But you can't increase the damage output using gear. So that would appear to make tactical scanner better if you're looking for raw damage. But I like the shield because of A, you can hide behind it and get great vantage points, but also it lasts longer. If nobody's shooting at my shield, it never runs out. So I can hang out up there for a long time. As well, this mod for the pulse has a limited range compared to the other mod, which has the huge range. Sometimes my targets are so far away because I'm sniping that they're not even in range of my pulse. So the modification that gives me bonus damage against people who are identified by the pulse scan is wasted. But it all depends on your playstyle. There's no right answer as of yet that I know of. I like these two. I normally have someone else in the group who's running pulse, so another reason I don't use it. So that's about it for the talents. Most of the other talents I don't use just because I'm so heavily into firearms that my skills don't do much damage, so having a turret, the turret's going to be really weak, barely does any damage, so there's no point. Sticky bomb's good for some cases if NPCs are rushing you, especially in those challenge mode missions. If NPCs are rushing you and you just can't put them down fast enough, a flashbang is a flashbang. It doesn't have to be powerful. It will still stun the enemy and make them stop, and you can get your headshots off. So that one's one that I run sometimes in the challenge missions, but not very often. So I'm gonna hop over to the talents. So just give me a second. I don't know how long I've been going for. I'm gonna share this clip and make sure I don't run out of my 15 minutes. Okay, so talents. I currently run with the tactical advance. This one's helpful in those PvP missions where you're slowly advancing on the enemy, because it gives more weapon damage. There's only a couple talents that give the bonus weapon damage. The other one I run, City Hands. Also, realistically, it's good for the PvE challenge missions, all that stuff, because ideally it shouldn't matter how much recoil is on your gun, because your first bullet would drop an agent in the dark zone, so you don't have to do a follow-up. But when you're playing against the NPCs, it's not always a one-shot kill. So that I run for that reason. Reaper's really nice, because there's lots of times when you snipe a target and they've got a sliver of health yet left because you didn't quite do enough damage to them with your one headshot. But this allows me to just pull out my pistol and take advantage of that situation, pop one pistol bullet into them, and boom. 30 rounds to my primary weapon is a big deal as a bolt-action sniper rifle. If you had an LMG, 30 rounds, who cares? But as a sniper rifle, that's huge. That's 30 kills, ideally. And then the most important talent, in my opinion, is one is none. Because a headshot on a hostile to have a 50% chance to not consume the bullet is huge. Because the sniper rifle has a limited clip. This essentially adds 50% magazine size. On average, in theory. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. Sometimes you're not hitting headshots, you miss, you hit a body shot. But this is key to have, in my opinion, because it allows me to just unload shots into those hard mode NPCs. There have been times where I had 5 bullets in my clip and I managed to get 11 shots off, just because I happened to get lucky. So that's about it for the talents. And that's about it for the sniper. As a sniper, you need a secondary gun. You have one, might as well. So I personally prefer an LMG. And that's just for me and my playstyle. I like to have a lot of bullets. Because most people running around in close quarters, they've got a machine gun and then either a submachine gun attached, like as their secondary. So they have their main clip, then they pull out their second gun, and they can pump out their second clip too. And if I had a submachine gun, if I run out of bullets with my submachine gun when I'm fighting someone up close, I don't have a second gun I can call on. So that's why I like this LMG. I've got a nice extended mag on it. I want a much better LMG. This is just the first one I was able to get that was legendary, or high-end, I should say. But having that 83 mag is nice because it allows me to pump out enough bullets without having to stop and reload. Because a lot of times, the battles in the dark zone, it's just whoever runs out of bullets first, that's sometimes what determines who lives and who dies. So I prefer an LMG, but something like an SMG is probably better, just because if somebody's rushing at you, like an NPC or a hostile agent, because you've already built your build for so much firearms, an SMG is going to put out crazy amounts of DPS, and if they're rushing at you, you can just pop out and unload into them really quickly. So it would be ideal for some, like a shotgun running at you, like an NPC shotgun running at you, or an agent running at your face, trying to get you out of cover. You can just pop out and just unload quickly, because you can't stand up for very long because you're so weak, such low health, you're going to get killed. So you better pump out your bullets quick, because if you don't, you're dead. So I've thought about an SMG. I'm sticking with my LMG for now. I may change that, but I think that's all I really had to talk about. So let me know what you guys think. Any suggestions? I'd love to see or hear if anyone's gotten. I'm sure someone's gotten higher sniper headshots before, because this is not a finished build by any means. And I'll update another video if this one gets some views. I decided to do this video because my my quick little sniper overview video got a bunch of views, so I decided to go into some more detail for anyone who cared. So, thanks for watching if you stick around this long, and you never know, I may do another one. I might talk about my tank build. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.